Hello again, and welcome to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 53, and this week, if I can't get through the entire kit, I've got serious problems, because they actually sent me 2 kits. So if I run out of parts here with these, 8 parts, I've done something terribly wrong. Anyway, this week we are installing the other door sill, some pipes, and a couple more faux cables. I think we must be getting close to the end of faux cables. I sure hope so. I think this one's going to be relatively quick, but man, I'm tired of these cables. So, I'm going to get started. Okay, so this week we have, as I said, the other door sill, these 2 piping pieces, which are going to go together pretty much immediately. They're going to go sort of like that. Faux cables, another 3 hoses with connectors, and a bundle of wires with connector, AP and FP screws. Now, as I said, first thing that's going to happen is these 2 pipe pieces are going to go together. I believe they're going to be secured with an AP screw, and that's what the instructions say too. I was pretty sure that was going to be the case because there's only 2 screws in the bag. So, 1 here and 1 spare. So these 2 pipe pieces. One of them has a tab, the other has a spot for the tab, and that's it. They just go together, and an AP screw is going to hold them in that configuration. I think this is one of those, we could have molded it as one piece, but then you wouldn't have as many screws, so yeah. So that's the bit of pipe. I don't think that joint in the middle does anything except give me one more place to put a screw. So, step 2 is somewhat reversed from last time, to bring the car in and mount this pipe first. Now this is going to go with this end under the dashboard. So this is going to go in here. I think up against the seats. So, yeah, more or less where I just had it. You got to get that in place, and then also get the end of this into a hole on the underside, which I've never noticed before. There is a hole on the underside of the dashboard here for that to fit in. That's also going to help keep these cables from sliding out. I was concerned about that, just from where they were pulling to the side. I have the same problem on the other side. I'm going to just have to adjust those more. Anyway, so that is going to be secured with 2 FP screws on the underside. And immediately following this, we'll be putting the sill on before we do any cabling. Okay, so that is how that's going to go on. As I say, the sill is going to go on next. It's going to be secured with 3 FP screws. So the sill can only go one way. It's going to go on here. I say it can only go one way. I am not very smart today. It can only go one way, but it goes the opposite direction if I was trying to install it. And that's why the screws weren't lining up. So yeah, so obviously the finished side goes into the passenger compartment. Yep. Big brain there. Okay. Now personally, I don't recall ever noticing this bit of piping on the passenger side. I suspect you just don't see it very much in the film. I'm going to have to look for it the next time I watch. I believe it's there, I'm sure it's there, I just don't have any memory of it. Okay, so that's the other side door sill on. And the last couple of steps are getting the cables routed through. So we are going to take 2 zip ties and all of these cables those cables, all of these cables. Bundle them together, zip tie them up. Okay, I'm just going to get the lengths about the same. And it's about what we're going to get out of it. Cut these off, tighten them up. And these are going to go along kind of on top of the pipe here and come out this opening in the back. Now, of course, to secure them, we're going to need to open up that gap again. So if you recall, there is a little clip over here. We're just gonna take one screw out so we can rotate the connector out of the way. And put the screw back in. And once again, with all those other cables in there, this all does hold together pretty easily. That was no great chore. And these cables are going to go along the floor and out back here. So that's it. That's how that's going to look. You can't see it very well. There you go, a little better. So cables running along, coming out the back. Next week we're going to do the bulkhead back here. I've got some mods to go with that to make that a little more accurate. And we're also going to skip some steps putting that bulkhead together. I'm starting to think that this model is based on some other DeLorean model, which I've never seen, that's not a Back to the Future DeLorean, and that a lot of these pieces fit that. So that when the Back to the Future kind of components go in, it doesn't quite work right, like why the seats don't really fit once the cables are in. I mean, they fit, but you can't move them. They don't slide the way they would. So, the bulkhead is going to have speakers. I'm not going to install the speakers because the car in the movie did not have the speakers in the bulkhead. So, we'll get to that, obviously, during the build. But yeah, so that is it for this week. We've got that side installed. Hopefully the last few cables there. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, keep watching, check out those other playlists. Have a good one, guys.